Have you ever stopped in the middle of intimacy and wondered what is actually happening inside your body and brain? Because from the outside, it may look simple, but inside the human body, something incredibly complex is happening in real time. It's not just emotion, it's not just attraction, it is biology, chemistry, hormones, and neuroscience, all working together like a system, and most people never realize how deep this process actually goes. Everything begins with arousal. The moment the brain receives signals of attraction, comfort, or stimulation, it immediately activates the nervous system. Blood flow starts increasing throughout the body. The body slowly shifts from a normal state into a responsive state. Subtle changes begin. Skin temperature rises, heartbeat becomes slightly faster, breathing becomes deeper, muscles start to relax, and sensitivity increases naturally. In men, this is often visible through increased blood flow in specific areas. In women, the process is more layered and internal, including increased sensitivity, natural lubrication, and emotional responsiveness. But the key point is this: it is not just physical. It is a brain-controlled biological reaction. For decades, people believed that women take much longer to become aroused compared to men. But modern science tells a different story. Research using thermal imaging and physiological monitoring found something surprising. Both men and women can show early signs of arousal in less than 30 seconds, and full peak response often develops around 10 minutes, depending on conditions. This completely changes the old assumption that one gender is slow or fast. In reality, the human body is not about speed, it is about readiness, comfort, and context. Advanced medical imaging, including MRI-based studies, has shown how the body behaves during intimacy. What research has discovered is fascinating. Internal muscles are not static. They adjust, contract, and respond dynamically during intimate moments. At the same time, multiple systems activate together. Cardiovascular system increases activity, muscles tighten and relax in cycles. Nervous system becomes highly active, hormone levels rise rapidly. The body is not just reacting, it is fully coordinating like a biological system under stimulation. Even breathing patterns and posture naturally shift without conscious control. Now here is something very important. Not every person experiences intimacy in the same way. In fact, research suggests that a significant number of women do not necessarily reach peak pleasure through penetration alone. This does not mean anything is wrong. It simply highlights a key scientific truth. Human sexual response is highly individual. It depends on emotional connection, mental comfort, and safety, type of stimulation, stress levels, and personal biology. This is why comparison is misleading, because no two bodies operate exactly the same way. At the peak of intimacy, the brain becomes extremely active and, at the same time, selectively calm. Neuroscience shows major chemical changes. Dopamine increases. Linked to reward and pleasure, oxytocin rises. The bonding and trust hormone endorphins are released. Natural pain and stress relief. At the same time, some parts of the brain, responsible for stress, overthinking, and self-awareness, temporarily reduce activity. That's why people often report feeling deeply relaxed, emotionally connected, mentally light, and sometimes even sleepy or calm afterward. It is not just physical pleasure. It is a neurochemical reset moment. One of the most overlooked parts of intimacy is emotional state. Science shows that the brain does not separate emotion and physical experience during intimacy. If a person feels safe, relaxed, emotionally connected, the body responds much more strongly. But if there is stress, discomfort, pressure, or distraction, the biological response becomes weaker. This proves one important idea. The mind is just as important as the body. So when we look at it scientifically, intimacy is not just an action. It is a full body, full brain experience, driven by hormones, emotions, and neurological signals working together. What feels emotional and personal is also deeply biological and scientific. And the most interesting part is, even educational discussions like this are often misunderstood or restricted on public platforms. That's why more deep conversations are moving into long-form content and podcasts, where we can explore real human psychology without limits. If you're curious about how the human mind and body truly work, stay connected and subscribe for more insightful content.